Okay, let's do a little story time video. My husband and I got married at 19 and 20, so we were really young. And a couple months into our marriage, it was around midnight or so, or almost midnight, sometime around there. And we were just hanging out and talking, and we were like, you know what? What would happen if we put our house on Airbnb? Kind of half joking. One of us said that. I don't even remember who. And we thought, let's do it. So at almost 12 o'clock at night or 12 o'clock in the morning, I guess, we put our home on Airbnb. We didn't think anything would happen. We live in it's not like a touristy area by any means, so we didn't think anybody would really book with us. But for some odd reason, we just thought, we'll give it a try. We woke up the next morning with many requests. Our inbox was full of requests, enough to fill up our entire summer. So we got married in May, so it must have been like only a month or so into our marriage, because this was the beginning of summer. And so we woke up in the morning after just a few hours of putting our home up on Airbnb. We had requests. There was one family that wanted to stay for like a month. So we accepted all of these people and let them stay at our house. Now, we didn't do the thing. When you do Airbnb, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can rent out just your spare bedrooms, which we did end up doing later, and I'll talk about that in another video. But we rented out the whole house. Yeah, we really didn't know what we were doing. I don't think at this point we even knew there was an option to just rent out the spare bedrooms, but we were like, okay, we need to leave our house because someone's going to come stay in our house. They're going to pay a lot more than our mortgage is on what we were paying for our house. So we were going to make money from it. We were really excited, but we need to leave. So we packed our suitcases and we ended up staying at my parents' house for a while. Well, first we actually went on a road trip. We were gone for a little bit, traveling, just like road trip type thing. We didn't have a lot of money. And then stayed at my parents' house. And then at the end of the summer-ish, we came back to our house and lived there. But that was just a really random thing, and it was very spontaneous. We didn't have any kids. It was just us. So we were like, why not? Jobs were flexible, and yeah, story time, Airbnb. So if you're in a position where you want to make some extra money, Airbnb is a great option. And you might be surprised by how many people want to stay at your house, even if you don't live in a touristy area. Let's do another story time. For the first couple years of my marriage, my husband and I paid our mortgage with Airbnb, and I'm going to tell you how. I have such a love for Airbnb after being an Airbnb host myself. As we were Airbnb hosts, we had a lot of family members saying things like, are you sure you want to invite strangers into your home? Or that sounds really dangerous, or I would never do that. But honestly, we had such a great experience. There were a few crazy people, but for the most part, nothing like no damaged stuff, nothing scary, like just, different. But for the most part, we loved it because we got to meet people from many different countries and just hang out with them. I mean, we didn't have to hang out with them. So if you're an Airbnb host, like, you don't have to hang out with your guests. If you're just want to strictly be like a business, that's totally fine. No guests expect you to hang out with them, but we did get to do that if we wanted to. We got to meet people from like all over the world and make money doing it, and it was so much fun. So let's just talk about it a little bit. So I talked about how we started out by renting out our whole house on accident, kind of, and then when we found out that you didn't have to rent out your whole house, you could just rent out your bedrooms, we started doing that. So we started it with our first house. We lived in a single family home. It was like 1,500 square feet, I think, 3 bed, 2 bath. And we just rented out the spare bedrooms on Airbnb. And then when we purchased our next house, we sold that house, bought another house. This next house we bought was a townhouse. And the first floor was, kind of like its own bedroom, bathroom. It was very private. So we rented that out. And then for a while, there was another bedroom with a bathroom in it up on the 3rd floor. And we rented that out, but we didn't really like that as much. We wanted people to like stay in the low basement level. We didn't want people right next to our bedroom, because our bedroom was on the 3rd floor too. So anyway, we tried that out, but then we ended up just having 1 bedroom rented out in the townhouse, and we loved it. It, like I said, paid for our mortgage, which was amazing. And another thing is, I was actually really surprised by how many people come to our area. We live in Salem, Oregon.